Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. So today I was with a couple. We were working on a design project in their home, and a rather heated conversation came up about one wanting to downsize and the other not. Now, as a designer, I've been in this kind of conversation many, many times over my life, and I actually embrace that role because I can be the middleman. I can look at it a little more um, objectively than they can. And so tonight I thought I would actually talk about that here on this video. I'm calling it the dueling downsizers. What do you do when one spouse wants to downsize and the other one doesn't? So, over the course of many, many years of being in the middle like this, I've discovered that there are ways to break that impasse and to get them both on the same page. So if you and your spouse seem to be on the opposite sides of the aisle on the topic of downsizing, you're definitely not alone. So even though I have absolutely no training at all in mediation or therapy or anything like that, um, I feel like I can often help diffuse this battle by presenting both sides and by listening. So, what I've discovered are basically 5 ways to help break that impasse so that they can achieve common ground. So, the number one thing to do, and this is probably true of all relationships and all situations, is to listen. Letting the other party um, talk and share all the emotions, share everything that's inside about why they want to move or not want to move. Let them talk without judging, without responding, without cutting them off, and then you would have your turn to have the same um, opportunity to say what's on your mind. So what you have to realize is that people attach sentiment to our stuff. And that stuff can be a reminder of, special times or places or people in our lives. And letting go of those is difficult. So, letting go of the homestead that you raised your children in for 30 or 35 years, the neighbors and that have become really good friends, even the local restaurants and stores, the ball fields, all of these bring back memories. So letting them talk about it, letting them express their emotion about why they want to stay is going to help diffuse some of the upset and the emotion. So having an understanding that your spouse wants to hold on to these memories is certainly understandable, and that at some point he or she might begin to realize that the kids are grown, they have their own lives, that the neighbors are actually getting older too, and they may be choosing to downsize, and that what really does remain are just the memories, and the memories you definitely cannot take away. So, the number two way that I've discerned that you can help diffuse these battles is to understand that change is harder for some than it is for others. Realizing that the home has always been, it's represented security, safety, it's what they're comfortable with, it's what they know. And the fear of the unknown is pretty natural, and then having to face that can be scary. So, understanding that your spouse is afraid of change can definitely help. One thing that I've also discovered is by suggesting that they at least look at other neighborhoods, smaller homes, maybe 55 and older communities, meet some of the new neighbors in the different neighborhoods and talk to them about what it's like to live there. It might actually get them excited about the possibility of starting a new life together. This actually happened to my brother and my sister-in-law, and they started looking, and my brother, who was a little more reticent to move, actually got very excited about it, and now they're happier than ever. So make sure that you understand that change is not easy. It's certainly harder for some. Just give them time to adjust to the idea. Then the third step in diffusing this kind of battle is to maybe take baby steps. If you were to start decluttering your home now, start to see progress. And when the other party sees how much easier life actually is when you don't have all of that stuff, they may actually come to you and say, I think it's time to downsize. And then the fourth way to start maybe coming to common ground is to together create a vision for what your life will look like in 5 or 10 years if you stay or if you downsize. So as an example, if you stay, you may need to renovate your bathroom at least for aging in place. You may need to renovate such that you have a first floor living with no stairs. And think about the home maintenance and the costs and labor and so forth of having to maintain that bigger property. Then another thing to consider if you stay is if one dies, will the other live there alone in that big house? And the last thing is, at some point, the kids will have to manage your stuff. So if you do not downsize, chances are they're going to have to manage it after you're gone. So the other way to look at this is if you downsize now, and you move to a home that's already prepared for aging in place, you won't have to do the renovation. It will have a walk-in shower, it'll have skid-resistant flooring, it'll have, better lighting, handrails, and all of the things that we would put into a home for universal design or aging in place. There'd be no renovation, no headaches, no costs. The maintenance could be taken care of by a homeowners association if you move to a community like that. So you have more carefree living. And the other thing is to downsize now and get rid of a lot of your stuff means that your kids won't have to take care of it after you're gone. So by weighing the physical, the financial, the emotional costs of both options of staying or of downsizing, you'll be able to make your decision based on more of an analysis rather than emotion. And the last thing to help diffuse the argument of downsizing or not is to realize it takes time. So just be patient. Help each other understand that this is an enormous decision that you can make together. The upheaval will definitely be there, but it will be temporary. And that some, arrive at this decision sooner than others. So it just takes time to make such big life-changing decisions. So one thought there, and I often recommend this, is that they visit friends that have already downsized. Ask a lot of questions. Ask them how they made their decision to downsize or to stay. And ask them what it's like not having the big house, the maintenance, what's their lifestyle like. So hopefully these 5 tips have helped you, especially if you're in the middle of that battle. So if you are, I hope that my suggestions have helped you break the impasse and come to some common ground. So remember, listen and understand your partner has high emotions around this regarding moving or staying. So just listen. The second is to understand that change is hard. It's harder for some than it is for others. And the third one is to take baby steps. Who knows, they might be the ones coming to you and saying, I think it's time that we downsize. And number 4 is to weigh the costs of staying or going so you can make a much more concrete decision together. And then the last thing is to just be patient because it takes time to make the right decision. So I'd love to hear from you, so please comment below. And if you are interested in this subject, if you would like to talk to me, I do offer a 30-minute free consultation. Just go to my website, Rita Wilkins, at ritawilkins.com. And just tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. So I hope this has helped, and I look forward to hearing from you.